Hey everybody, it's Roberto. So doing a quick vlog for you guys here from TimeSquare. It's beautiful out here. It's a gorgeous day. It's not too cold. It's not that bad. I'm actually heading to a lunch meeting that's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually getting ready to meet my friend Jared Kleinert and getting ready to have lunch with this kid Conrad, who literally did one of the most awesome things I've ever heard of. He built a nuclear fusion reactor in his garage with stuff you could buy over the counter. He's a freaking genius. So how often do you get to meet a kid genius, right? Somebody who's really creating awesome. So I'm getting ready to do that. But today's vlog topic is going to be about making perfect the enemy of good. There are so many people that I talk to on a regular basis, and I used to be one of these people too, so don't get me wrong, that let the idea of it needing to be perfect stop them from starting something, stop them from trying something. The thing that I keep saying is people need to keep taking more shots, and people just need to do stuff and execute and get your 30, 50, 20, 60, 100 failures out of the way, your crap executions, the things that you feel you could do better at. Get them out of the way. I didn't make perfect, and I still don't feel I make perfect YouTube videos. And I'm 650 videos in as far as the videos that are public on just this channel to you guys, which means I've done over 1,000 executions of videos in the last 2.5, 3 years. And I'm still perfecting and honing that craft every single time I do this. So if you're giving up after 10 or 20 or 30 failures, do not be soft. Just keep going. You failed more than 50, 100 times when you were a kid learning how to walk, when you were a kid learning how to do your alphabet, spell, do all those things that you have to do today. As an adult, 100 failures did not deter you and did not discourage you from executing and from being successful eventually. So don't let it happen now. So do not let perfect be the enemy of good. So many people, they are obsessed with this idea, and so many people, this is their excuse for niching down. And I'm not saying niching down is the wrong thing, because for some people it's absolutely the right thing. It's very effective, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna literally do a whole video about why you should niche down, but I want you to do it for the right reasons, because there are people who niche down because they're just being soft, and they are sitting there believing wrongfully that they only need to focus on one thing. And the reality is that the majority of people are not going to get into the top 10% and beat 90% of people by just focusing on one thing. They're going to get to 70 or 80%, and that's fine. Crushing 70, 80% of people is more than enough. Look, if you're a good athlete, you may never win an NFL championship ring, right? You may never win a Super Bowl, win an NBA championship, but if you're a good athlete, even without doing that, 80% of the people sitting on their couch or at their laptop or on their phone watching this right now, you're gonna pick up a basketball, you're gonna pick up a tennis racket, you're gonna pick up a bicycle, and you're gonna crush them, right? You're gonna crush all of us because that's just the reality of it. So I would suggest that instead of spending the next 5 years struggling to get from 80% to 90, that you look at 2 or 3 things that you're a 40 at and become a 70 or 80 in those in the next year or two, and then you can offer more value, because that person who's even a 90 has 90 points on the table, and you could bring 240 points on the table. If you're an 80 at 3 things to them being a 90 at 1, guess what happens? You won the game. You won the game. I would rather be an 80% triathlon participant than an 85 or 90% bicyclist any day of the week. I would rather be able to run, bike, and swim better than 80% of people than be able to do one of those things better than 90% of people. Now, maybe that's just me, but I would think that there is a huge value, especially if we're talking business. If we're talking about business, if we're talking about your skill sets, we're talking about craftsmanship, it is better to be a 70 or 80 at 3 things than to be a 90 at 1. Now, if you're gonna be a 95 or 100, that is completely different. That is completely different if you're gonna be a 95 or 100 at one thing, but boy, is that hard, and boy, do you have to have the audacity to wanna make that claim. I don't claim to be a 90 at anything, but you know what? There are probably about 5 to 10 things that I'm comfortable to say that I'm an 80, 85 at. But that came from, not letting perfect be the enemy of good. There's nothing perfect about this video, but I'm getting it out here, and honestly, because of the backdrop of Times Square, this is probably gonna be one of my better videos on the channel, just because it's gorgeous out here. So despite whatever the audio is, because I'm doing this outside in the field raw, despite the fact that I'm doing no editing to this, despite the fact that this is totally off the top of my head, this video is probably gonna be one of the best videos, regardless of how many views, how many likes, how many shares, whatever. This is still, in my opinion, gonna be one of the best videos because of the energy I'm bringing and because it is freaking amazing out here. So that's my message. Stop letting perfect be the enemy of the good, and just do something and keep doing it. And if you fail at it or you feel you suck at it, get over it and keep trying until you don't. Now, understand that if something is really just not your skill and just not your talent, pivot and invest your time where it's best spent. I'm not saying spin your wheels, waste your time at something you're not good at. You know, there are things that I'm just not good at that I'm not going to waste my time on, but I am going to outsource those weaknesses to people who are better at them. There's a lot of tedious crap that I'm really just not good at, so guess what? I'm getting a virtual assistant. I'm getting interns, because it's gonna take me a whole half hour to get over being bored, right? And then an hour to grind through that work, whereas because that's their thing, they'll get it done in a half hour. So that makes no sense for me to try to get better at tedious work like that. So, you know, that's what I'm saying is, do not let perfect become the enemy of good. It is better to have 80, 70% of something than 100% of nothing, because you were like, well, oh, I've got to get it perfect. I've got to get perfect. You know what? If any of you are in school, ask your teacher if it's better to turn in an incomplete paper than not to turn it in at all. And guess what they're gonna say? Turn in what you have. Don't take the 0. So many of you in life are taking a 0 on the assignments of execution on the thing that you're supposed to be doing, instead of taking that 70 or 80 of something, knowing that you can go back and you can improve it. You don't have to let it be. So, you know, that's my talk for today. I've got to run. I've got to take this lunch. I've got to meet Jared Conrad and the rest of the people. Maybe I'm going to hit up Tyler Roxon as well. So I've got that going on. Plus, I'm going to Gary V's event uptown around maybe 5 this afternoon or something like that. So that's gonna be cool. Maybe I get to actually meet Gary Vaynerchuk in person this time, face to face. So that's gonna be awesome. If not, I'm gonna be at Social Media Marketing World, where he's at this year in April, and I'm gonna be at, no, sorry, in May, and in April I'm gonna be at Dig South. So if I don't catch him today, I'll probably catch him there. By the way, guys, buy the new Ask Gary V book. Later, I'll put a link in the description, but buy this book. I have a signed copy. I've been reading it. It is amazing, and you need to get it if you're interested in doing anything business or entrepreneurial. So make sure you're checking that out. Anyway, I've got to run, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me in Times Square. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today, and do not let perfect be the enemy of good. All right? Catch you later. Have a great day.